Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. When Fate Sparks Vengeance. Last episode, 9. Chapter 120 Silver. I'll make her come here while I go downstairs so that you two would have your privacy, Kieran said as he stood up and left. Thank you, Kieran. I appreciated him for his beautiful smiles, change of mood and countenance. Lila, you sent for me. Yeah, come sit. Is anything the matter? I don't want lies or I'll have your brother deal with you. What did I do again? You didn't do anything, just want you to answer a few questions. Okay, I'm all ears. I want you tell me all you know about Riley. That's not possible, I'm sorry I can't tell you. If that's the reason you called me, then I'm not interested and I'll beg to take my leave now. You can go. I saw the fear and sudden anxiety in her eyes. She walked out of the room. I would find a way to get these words out of your mouth, Shane. I said to myself. You're almost at achieving your lifelong goals. Remember to tread with caution. Helena said. I am watching closely, making sure not to leave any stones unturned. I assured Helena that I was aware of every step I took. What did you tell her? Kieran asked in haste. He must have seen the puzzled look on Shane's face as she walked past him. Nothing much, darling, it's of no use. Never mind, I'm even embarrassed that I placed my ears in an all-girls matter, Kieran replied. He sees it as an all-girls matter, the very tool I need to keep his nose out of the matter. I thought to myself as I stood up. I'm bored here, can we take a walk outside? I suggested. Okay, but remember we're not leaving the house, Kieran retorted. Why do I feel like I'm caged in here? I dislike someone placing restrictions on my movements. No one's caging you, the outskirts are not safe. Your safety and that of our child is my utmost responsibility. I can't tamper with it, Kieran explained with a soft kiss on my forehead. Okay, fine, we're not leaving the house, I agreed to his plea. After you, my lady. Kieran pawed his mouth as he pulled open the door for me. Kieran loved behaving like a gentleman, although he has a dark nature which he knows I've experienced and he wouldn't let me experience it again. Where do you think you're going, you pathetic? You better watch your words or face my wrath, Kieran chimed in, which made Riley startle a bit because she thought that I was the only one standing at my door. Let her be. It seems she's familiar with the word pathetic. You see, that word has made you pathetic. What's more pathetic than being obsessed with someone who doesn't even notice your existence? It's better you leave now when there's still a minimal pride left in you. It'll be a disgrace and a big stain on your reputation that you're thrown out of this house. These are words meant for her alone. You did great, Lila. Helena applauded my words. It's just time that holds us apart, Kieran. When all this drama is over you'll come back begging on your knees, Riley hissed and walked past us. She doesn't even know what she's saying, frustration has engulfed her soul. Take a look at her, she doesn't even know where she's going. She's like a living corpse, Kieran mocked her. Kieran said it all, and I knew she was getting frustrated about the whole situation. I wondered what made her linger in this house. Let's go, darling, she's not worth your thoughts, Kieran said, as I came back to my senses with a long sigh. We walked outside to the balcony, the kitchen head walked close to me. Ma'am, what would you have for lunch and dinner? The kitchen head asked as she bowed her head down. Kieran's my nutritionist, I don't think I'll be needing your services. I retorted in a respectful tone. Can I make tea for you? She asked hastily. No need for that, ma'am, whatever she wants I'll get it for her, Kieran chimed in a serious tone. She bowed her head down, shame engulfed her because she knew all the forceful tasks she made me do, due to her position. Anything not made by Kieran's hands would not pass my mouth. We sat in the garden, leaning in his arms. Wait here while I get the pictures, Kieran uttered. How would you bypass your father and his business associates? I asked in haste, having mixed feelings about stealing the pictures. That's my problem, just give me 7 minutes and if I'm not back here, meet me in our room. I saw the seriousness in his eyes, he really wanted to steal the pictures. Okay, be safe and don't get caught, I said as I held onto the phone Kieran gave to me. I've never stolen anything, it's my first time so I'll do my best, Kieran said as he darted off to the house. I hope for the success of this mission and I stand strongly against any mishap or failure. Why are you here alone? Shane asked in a mild tone. I knew she must have seen the tension on Kieran's face, which would be the only reason for her sudden questions about Kieran's presence. Kieran was here but he said he had some issues to settle. You met him on your way here, right? Not really, maybe I walked past him without noticing, she smirked. Come sit, I said with ease. If I'm going to discuss with you, it wouldn't involve our earlier discussion, she retorted in a mild tone. Fine, there are many issues to talk about, just sit, I beckoned her shy attitude towards me. How's Silver? He's probably sleeping or reading and normally satisfying me, Shane laughed at her own words. Do you love him? I inquired from her, trying to make her feel that I really had other matters to discuss. Yes, on the basis that he knows how to make me happy in bed. Her words baffled me to some point. Do you love him apart from that basis? I asked hastily. Yes, he's really fun to flock around with and he treats me like his queen, which I am. I'm good with him. These words made me feel that she was only joking earlier. What would you do if you found out that he was cheating on you? I just wanted to get into a deep conversation with her in order to find out the necessary information I need. I would kill the girl and torture him, until I'm satisfied with the great loss of his blood. The look on her face showed the level of seriousness her relationship was with Silver. What if you kill him in the process of your torture? I asked, knowing fully well that a naive and decisive person as Shane could kill someone and be fulfilled about it. I'll be careful enough not to kill him, she replied in a mild tone. That's interesting. The fact is that you love him and wouldn't want him to hurt you. You're really compatible, he treats you more than a queen and you love him like your son. It's really worth it. I watched my words, making it feel like I helped her with advice on her relationship. Thanks, Lila, it's been a while since I discussed my relationship with anyone, Shane divulged. I'm honored to be that someone, I said in a mild tone. I guess you want me to answer your question. Riley's the kind of girl I wished my brother would marry, but I guess the moon goddess didn't make that happen. She's very young, willed and powerful, I chimed in. I testified to that after experiencing her hard punches on different occasions. I guess she learned that from her fierce father Al Simmons. He trained her in combat right from childhood. She's really good at combat, Kieran can attest to that, before she came into this house. Kieran fought her different times and that's the major reason why he took interest in her and brought her home. The moment I saw her, I knew she was the right one for Kieran. They started a blissful relationship. Kieran had it in mind that she would eventually be his Luna, but it didn't happen as per his plan. Riley hates you because you took away the only thing that brought her peace, comfort, and the courage to talk to her folks. She didn't really have the type of childhood every child intends to have. Her father trained her all day and wouldn't still let her have friends. Because he saw them as people with potential betrayal. Kieran shaped Riley to the woman she is today, making her stand and talk without shaking her legs or being shy. Kieran felt he made a big problem when Riley turned sour, screaming at any given opportunity, throwing punches at our servants who flouted orders. Kieran tried to curb her behavior, but it went out of hand when my father made her in charge of the servants and their duties. Riley made sure someone had faults and sealed it with a punch or a kick. Kieran's friends all deserted this house because of Riley's attitude, Kieran lost his friends and I also had no friends because of Riley's ill-mannered words she used on them. She's all weak and lonely now that her alpha has been taken away from her. She has no option than to continue in her wickedness and cold nature. Sometimes I wish there was someone who would talk to her and make her change her behavior and character. Shane's words melted my heart. I realized that Riley wasn't born with that attitude but developed it, and it became worse when she lost Kieran to me. "Where's Riley?" I asked. "She's probably in her room or at the backyard," Shane replied in a mild tone. "I would like to speak to her." "Are you serious?" "I would like to speak to Riley," I repeated my words. "Let's go then," Shane giggled as she pulled me away from the seat. We walked together to the backyard. Riley wasn't there. "She's in her room and I'm certain about this," Shane divulged. Shane knocked on the door and pulled the doorknob and discovered that it was locked. "Riley, it's me, Shane. What do you want?" "Someone wants to speak to you." "Who's that?" "I really don't want to see anyone right now and I don't have the strength to banter words," I chimed in. "Riley, it's Lila. I really want to speak to you." "I'll go if you don't want to speak with me." "Lila, what do you want? Haven't you caused me enough mockery and pain?" Riley sobbed. "I haven't mocked you for one day and I'll never hurt you. I just want to have a word with you," I divulged. "Just go, leave me alone." "I don't want to speak with anyone aside Kieran," Riley said, still crying. "If Kieran is here right now, will you speak with us?" Shane asked. Yes, I knew Riley was crying. Someone who lives in a house where no one knows about her existence. She just wakes up, eat and sleep. Shane hurriedly went in search of Kieran. "I hope she doesn't spoil my plans. Kieran should have that paper by now," I said to myself as I paced around the door. "You better go after her, make sure she doesn't spoil your plans now that you're almost close to the finishing part," Helena suggested. "I wouldn't do that, she might suspect my sudden change of plans." "I would wait here, it's better half than none," I retorted Helena's words. "Suit yourself, it's your choice. Life's full of choices and we're the ones to make those choices, even to our own detriment," Helena affirmed my thoughts. "He's here," Shane announced. "Riley, it's Kieran. I would like to have a word with you." "Kieran, are you the one there?" Riley sobbed. "Yes, it's me, Kieran. Please open up. Let's talk," Kieran divulged. Riley turned the doorknob open. Kieran flung the door open. Riley's face was stained with tears, she even soiled her makeup. Her tears left imprinted lines on her face. "How long have you been crying?" "Just a few hours, it's normal though." Tears had become a part of my life, like my daily routine, and sometimes I don't have reasons to cry but the tears would flow out uncontrollably, Riley uttered, sniveling evidently. "Come on, don't say bad things to yourself." "How does crying become a person's routine?" Kieran retorted, hastily patting her shoulders. "Well, you're right, but unfortunately everything has been away from me, so there's nothing left to do than to cry," Riley divulged. "Can I have a word with you in private?" "Sure, but remember, don't remind me of my problems. I hate it when people do that to me." Riley had her conditions attached. "I'm totally good with it," I agreed to her conditions. Riley really needs someone to talk to, and it's unfortunate that Silver took away Shane's attention and I also took away Kieran's attention. Kieran pulled Shane up from the bed and they both walked out of the room. "What do you want to talk about?" Riley asked hastily. She was suspicious that I would harm her now that we're alone in the room. "There's nothing to be afraid of, I'm just a fellow person like you. Nobody took Kieran away from you." "The moon goddess," I tried explaining to her, but she chimed in agitated. "The moon goddess did it, that's true, but why didn't you make him say the rejection words, after all the pains, human torture, and public disgrace?" You accepted him, I accepted him because they say change is the only thing constant in life, and also the most patient dog eats the fattest bone. So I loved him and decided to wait till he returned to his senses. I knew that would happen, so waited patiently, and now I'm eating the fattest bone in contention. Kiran now takes care of me. I made her see reasons that I and Kiran are meant to be together and not separated. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean anything. He can change overnight and still become your worst nightmare. Riley made her point, shrugging aside. Enough about me, what about you? Why did you say tears have become part of your daily routine? I inquired, showing massive interest in her words. It's so realistic that someone like me hasn't found a mate yet. I'll tell you about my childhood, I chimed in. I'm all ears. I enveloped all my enthusiasm in the words she wanted to say. My name's Riley Simmons, the only daughter of a fierce commander, Al Simmons. My father was the type of father no one would ever wish to have, since my mother died. My father made my life a living hell. I was still a young girl when my father started training me in combat. He made me fight men, women, and his fellow commanders. He made me a monster in sight of everyone, no friends to run around with. Whenever I tried to join them, they'd stop and go their separate ways. It felt so heartbreaking not to have anyone to talk to. I was getting used to the words. It's time to train. These 4 words sounded like poison to me. At first I thought my father was only making me strong to be able to protect myself, but I never knew he had other plans. He made fights and used me as his tool in making money. He blames my mother's death on me. Whenever I go to the store to get something they'll give me for free, pushing me out like an outcast. I hated the way my father treated me, so a day came when I stood my ground to challenge my father. I told him my condition: if I win I get my freedom, but if I lose you'll be my master forever. A father who wants to fight his daughter because she was asking for her freedom. My father told his friends about the bet. Many people cursed him and told him not to make that mistake, but his stubbornness clouded his sense of reasoning. The fight night was here. I had my bath and dressed in a black shorts and a black singlet. I waited for my father. He arrived. I'm style. He really wanted to fight his own daughter. The fight began. He won the first round while I won the second and third round, which made me so happy that I didn't take any of my belongings. I ran as fast as a gazelle who was being pursued by a predator. I walked miles before Kiran saw me lying helplessly. I was very weak and tired, walking 3 days without direction or the destination I was heading to. Kiran picked me up. He saved me and brought me here. He took care of me like I was part of his family. I prayed to the moon goddess to bless me with Kiran as my mate, but it seemed you're destined to be with him, so I don't want to bulge anymore. Riley shared her background history with me, although Shane had told me earlier, but Shane's words were just a mere recap and summary of the whole story. This story is a very touching one. If my father was like Riley's father, I would have used slow poison to kill him. I guess you're crying because you feel someday someone would throw you out and that'll leave you stranded and no place to go. Yes, that's actually my main problem. The other one's that I hate it when I could spend the whole day without talking. It feels weird to me. I know it's weird, but from now henceforth I'll be here to always talk to you. Thank you so much. Please forgive me for all the wrongs I have caused you, Riley pleaded as she knelt down. I quickly raised her up to her feet and we embraced each other. Riley didn't have a problem after all, Helena smirked. Can we go outside together? You know, Lila, there's something I would like to tell you. I turned back immediately to listen to what she had to say. She said, I know what you're planning. It's your life's goal and you want it to be a success even if it'll take away your life. It's not like I'm telling anyone but the truth that I would love to be a part of this mission. Serum is a deadly weapon, and the longer the existence of it, the smaller our species would be. You also want to take down the crown. Yes, you may need my combat skills, Riley chuckled. I felt fulfilled watching her smile again. Okay fine, I agreed to her proposal. She couldn't hide her excitement as she jumped up high, screaming her name. Kieran and Shane walked into the room. They were both shocked to see Riley all happy and jovial. Kieran followed me to our room. How did you do that? Kieran asked, still wearing his shocked face. Oh Riley, she needed someone to talk to and someone who understands her plight, and she also needs a friend. So I decided to play all those parts for her to understand, I explained to Kieran, who stared at me in disbelief. So did she tell you anything about where she lived? Kieran inquired. Why are you asking that question? I wondered why he would ask about her past location. I really want her to leave, she's a threat to our family. Kieran pawed his mouth. You're not serious, you should have thought of that earlier. Unfortunately she's my friend, so no one's leaving this house. I divulged in a mild tone. Okay fine, but be careful around her. I made him see reasons why he shouldn't hate her. He just forgot about those times he kissed her in front of me. He supported them and now he's here claiming all hate and vigor. Another stone turned. Riley would be a part of my plan, but she wouldn't know what we're planning. Do you have the pictures? I divulged with a silent voice. It was very hard, but I got it. Here's what you asked for. Kieran gave me the pictures of the weapon. The picture was definitely what Dmitri needed. I'll take it to him tomorrow, I uttered in excitement. I'll come with you, Kieran obliged. No one cares about my absence, but your constant absence would tend to arouse suspicions from all angles, and suspicions wouldn't be a good form for us at this point. I practically declined due to the facts around it. Who's going with you then? Kieran inquired based on my safety. Who's even trustworthy to follow me? Yes, Riley. I'll need Riley's combat skills if any weird situation arises. Riley. Riley would protect me. She's a warrior herself, so don't you worry. I'll be fine. I'm really tired. I need rest, Kieran said as he fell face flat on the bed. And so do I. I hid the pictures in the wardrobe and locked the door. I felt tired walking around with my baby inside of me. I slept off. Why did you do this to me, Lila? Ryan sobbed. What do you mean? I was surprised when he wanted to touch me. He pulled my hands off. Look at what you caused. Ryan pointed to his room. I saw a short woman practicing dark spells. I was scared. I thought he had burned all his books. How did she get that book? Go before it's too late. Stop her before she gets to the mother and her children. Ryan's voice echoed like a trumpet. I opened my eyes screaming, Ryan. I realized it was just a dream. Kieran had already fallen off the bed, scared because of my scream. What's going on, Lila? I couldn't even answer Kieran's question. Clad in a white robe, I rushed to Ryan's room. I checked his shelf, ransacked his bed, and his washroom. I searched everywhere, still nothing was found there. I remembered his words, a mother and her children. Who's the mother and where's her children? I couldn't even answer the questions. I rushed out of his room, heading to my room when I bumped into Kieran. What's going on? Don't keep in the dark. Tell me what's with the sudden agitation and tension flowing around you. Just follow me, that's the only thing I knew I could explain to him. I searched my boxes, my wardrobe, and every other thing in my room, yet I couldn't find anything. What's a mother and her children used as a metaphor? What are you looking for? Ryan appeared in my dream and told me to get a book from a mother and her children. Kieran walked into my bathroom, then he looked through the window. A mother and children used as metaphor could only mean a tree. Yes, he's talking about the tree at the back of this building. I darted off to the tree. I saw the kitchen head walking close to that tree. I ran, but she picked the book. Now hand over the book to me, I ordered in a tensed voice. Here you go, ma'am. She gave me the book and continued walking. I sighed out of relief. I quickly ran and got petrol. Soaking the book in it, I used a lamp to light the book. It burned. I saw black shadows disappearing into thin air. "Thank you, Lila," I heard Ryan's voice. "Is that the book?" I kissed Kieran so hard, I wondered how he knew what a mother and her children meant. "How did you know that metaphor?" "Ryan told me about it and even made it stick to my brain. He even said we might need it someday." I felt perplexed at Kieran's words, but I just shaded it off and quenched the fire and said, "I don't think I have the strength to walk back inside. I'm always here for you." Kieran carried me in his arms until he dropped me on the bed. "I'm famished," I cried out. Kieran stared at me for a long period of time. He knew it hadn't been long I ate, but I guess my baby had eaten all the food stored down in my stomach. "Okay, what do you want?" "Anything, just get me something to eat." "Okay, I'll fix you something. Be fast about it." I had to battle two things now when it came to hunger, my stomach worms and my baby. It's really stressful and difficult, but that's how it's supposed to be. Kieran arrived with a medium-sized cake and fruits. "Interesting, where did you get the cake?" I asked in a mild tone, collecting the tray from his hands. "Someone brought it for my father, but father said no, and gave it to me." "Let's eat the cake and leave the icing part of it." I wondered why Kieran opted to leave the icing part of the cake. Nevertheless, we ate to our satisfaction. The cake was nicely baked and we loved it so much that we ate all of it. "Keep the bananas aside." Kieran's words scared me, not mentally but what he intended to do with bananas and icing part of a cake. "What's on that dirty mind of yours?" "What do you mean?" Kieran always loved answering questions with his questions when he's afraid of getting caught. "Why are we not eating the bananas and the icing part of the cake?" He bowed his head. "I just wanted to try a few things I watched on you. You'll love it, I promise." "With bananas and the icing of a cake? It's kinky, you know, right? Just loved trying new things with you. Just take off your clothes and lay flat with your breasts popping up to the sky." I quickly undressed and laid as he instructed, hoping that his intentions would be fun. I watched him unpeel the bananas a bit, but I didn't care. My enthusiasm was for his actions on my body with the items in the tray. "Now close your eyes." He took a black ribbon, blindfolding me. He's really mashing the bananas with the icing. "It's going to be thick." He rubbed it all over my body, including my feet. I felt perplexed at first, but when I understood what he was about to do, I freed myself to be pleasured by Kieran. He sucked on my toes. The feeling was sensational. I realized my hands were tied to the bed. "Why did you tie me here?" I asked, trying to release myself from the ropes. "I want you to savor every minute of pleasure I'm about to give to you." "Okay," I gasped for breath. My cunt was getting wet. No one has dared sucking my feet before. I would like to know the name of that movie. Kieran was close to me. He splashed the cream on my face. The taste was actually amazing. Kieran sucked on my lips. In a deep, passionate kiss, we stopped, gasping for air. He licked the cream off my face and my neck. I moaned softly. I knew Kieran to be fast and rough when handling me on the bed, but this time he was different. He took everything slowly. He really wanted me to enjoy it, and I was enjoying every bit of it. This was amazing. Guess this was more fun than I expected. I thought to myself as I laid in his arms and slept off. I woke up, feeling a bit weak and tired. I saw the marks Kieran's ropes left on my wrists. He was still fast asleep. Guess he must have been tired after taking that amount of icing and bananas. I cleaned up, dropping the tray outside the door of the room. While brushing my teeth, Kieran hugged me from behind, planting a soft kiss on my neck. "You left these marks on my wrists," I nagged in a mild tone. "Well, it's not my fault," Kieran smirked, still planting soft kisses on my neck. I turned my gaze away from him. "I did that to make you remember me when I'm gone," Kieran divulged. You practically want me to remember you because of your crazy knowledge of X. I laughed at his words, wondering how someone who's dead would be remembered only in the matters of X. Not exactly, but I want you to always remind yourself that there's no one that could ever take you away from me, Kiran conveyed. I wouldn't leave you for anyone, we're entangled, remember? I pawned my mouth. Like bread and butter. Speaking of which, I really would love bread and butter for breakfast. What do you think? Kiran asked in a mild tone. What you eat is what I'll eat. Kiran placed a beautiful smile on his face as he picked up his phone from the counter. Yet, I'll be spending the entire day at Dimitri's house. I wanted him to be aware of my sudden absence. It's fine by me, I'll probably come by the house in the evening. Kiran made me happy with his quite submissive behavior. Kiran doesn't argue with me anymore, my words are good with him. Okay, I smiled as I dropped my toothbrush. Rinsing off my mouth, I untied my towel and had my bath, while Kiran walked outside to order breakfast from a nearby beverage store. While I was rinsing off my body, I heard Lord Blackwood's voice. Father, to what do I owe this surprise visit? Kiran asked as he tied his loose towel. How dare you? Lord Blackwood snapped. What did I do, father? Kiran asked, surprised with so much happiness. How dare you take a leave for 1 year, Lord Blackwood said with a mild tone. Kiran chimed in yet again. Father, I thought we were good with it, I told you about the leave and you agreed to it. Why the sudden? Lord Blackwood punched Kiran right on his nose, blood gushed out profusely. Don't ever interrupt me whenever I'm talking. I've condoned your excesses and I'm afraid I have to put you in your place now. I want you seated in your office before 9 a.m. or else. Or else, father, what can you do to me? You're highly predictable and that's why your enemies always penetrate your so-called protection. You've done more harm than good to this family and be rest assured that mother won't have approved of everything you're doing. Kiran snapped with anger-filled eyes. Who are you to talk about your mother in that manner? Lord Blackwood raised his hands to hit him again, but Kiran held his hand and pushed it back. I'm her first offspring, and that indicates me as the heir to all the fortune you think you have. There's nothing left in your arsenal. Guess it's just you and you serum-filled soldiers. Kiran chimed in again. You better leave my room. I'm even tired of your wealth, the office, and in fact tired of being a son to a murderer. Lord Blackwood walked to the door. You'll hear from me, Kiran, and I promise you I'll be the one laughing last. Get out with your flimsy threats, Kiran sparked. It's not good to speak to your father in that manner. It's disrespectful. He stopped being my father the day he tried to kill you. When did that happen? Don't pretend that you don't know. He confessed it to you when you were alone in this room. I had it in mind that those soldiers looked like his soldiers and I checked the wardrobe and saw a bullet that had his trademark. I knew that you picked that bullet on the day of the attack. This scenario all linked to him. He's truly a monster and I vowed on that day to kill him and destroy the crown, Kiran conveyed. Okay, that's fine, I said as I dressed up, wearing a milk-white silk dress, with matching slippers. Since you're already dressed, here's my car key. Use it, I'll get another one. Like seriously. I knew he was probably joking with his words. I meant every word I just said. Use it for today while I get you a brand new one. I ran into his arms, hugging him so tight, almost sweeping him off his feet. I picked up the car keys, gave him a peg and darted off to Riley's room. Who's at the door? I'm not in the mood to see anyone, Riley uttered in a loud voice. It's me, Lila. Riley, open up, I answered in a less convincing tone. She opened the door. I could make an exception just because it's you. How are you doing and how's the baby? I was surprised that Riley asked about my health. We're all good, I just wanted you to escort me. There's an important place I'm supposed to be. I explained to her. Sure, let me get dressed, she giggled. I'll be waiting inside Kieran's car. I walked downstairs, heading to the garage. Give me 3 minutes. Riley darted off into her room. I haven't perfected my driving skills yet, but I want to drive. It's going to be difficult, but I'll try to fit in. I encouraged myself as I got into the car. How do I look? I stared at her beautiful blue dress, silver slippers, and a matching black hat. She looked like a queen while I looked like her younger sister. I didn't bulge. I needed her protection, so if she's far more dressed, it's not a reason to worry. You look stunning. Let's go. We drove out of the house, heading to Dimitri's house. I parked the car at the junction and boarded a taxi cab to a nearby store. I picked up a man disguise. I wore a beautiful shirt and a pair of knickers, a removable mustache, a cap, and awesome shoes. I wonder why Kieran doesn't dress like this. He just has suits and ties and nothing more. I just want Riley to discover that I'm the one. I trekked to Dimitri's house. It wasn't that far from the store. Who are you looking for, sir? Ride couldn't recognize me. I'm here to see your boss, Dimitri. I faked a man's voice. Dimitri, someone's here to see you. He even knows your name. Okay, tell him to wait. I stood for over 5 minutes, waiting for Dimitri, hoping he would fall for the disguise. Do you have the pictures? Dimitri asked. How does he know that I'm the one behind the disguise? There's no room for greetings, I said in my normal voice. Ride stood shocked as I pulled off the mustache and the cap, allowing my hair to rest on my shoulders as usual. I don't know if I have enough rooms to contain it, Dimitri said sarcastically as he surveyed the pictures. What's gotten into you, Dimitri? I asked, hating every ounce of his cold attitude towards me. We're here for business and nothing more, Dimitri said in a serious tone. It baffled me how Dimitri gets to find out his own dark nature. Well, I'm crashing here tonight. I made him know my intentions, hoping that he would appreciate my company. Okay, that's not a problem. I'll get your room ready, he maintained his cold voice. I was getting irritated by it. Fine, but please, you need to cool off your cold nature and embrace the heat of this bright sun. Just teasing you. How've you been and how's that little man? Had I started kicking? Dimitri said in a mild tone, staring into my stomach. He made it look like he was even seeing the baby in it. Not yet, he's just making me tired and exhausted, I divulged. We all walked into the house, the usual beauty and neatness depicted. I just loved the mixed designs. The doors were made of fine wood, the windows made of iron. Everyone has a role in his or her life. Ride could act like an old man, Lily could pretend to sleep for 2 hours and still not sleep. Those roles could either make or mar us, so we have to be careful when we use them, Dimitri explained as Ride brought 4 bottles of soft drinks. It's good to be back here. How long would you be staying? Lily chimed in, clasping her legs. Just today. Everything is going as planned and wouldn't want to jeopardize it, I uttered indistinctly. Ride, it's time to work. We've got 2 days max to make this fake weapon and its bullets. We make the swap and destroy it finally. What are the items needed for this job? I have a friend of mine who's called the King of Tools. He has all the tools you can ever think of, and the ones he doesn't have, he steals them for you. Ride laughed at his words. Well, that's good. You guys are just kings on your own. Dimitri will send you a list of the tools needed. I'll help with the money in case what you have is not enough, and Kieran would come by to the house. He wants to meet Lily, I affirmed Ride's words. Dimitri wrote a list of tools needed. I only saw a bit of it, which included chisels, knives and aluminum. How've you been, Lily? I inquired. Good, she said hastily. Just good. I expected a better answer from him. Yeah, better I guess, she said with a smile on her face. Okay, that's cool, I divulged. Yet I've gotten competitions. Ride stepped up his game. He even won his first victory yesterday, but that's after I won 9 games of the whole duel. Lily laughed at Ride as he walked past us, heading out to buy the items. Can we play chess? I asked, about feeling bored in the environment. I don't want to win you to the extent that your baby would notice it. Lily's words made me laugh hysterically. Get ready to accept your second loss. I felt encouraged, remembering my father's chess lessons. Okay, she darted off to the dining table and walked back with the chessboard in her hands. We both set our pieces in the normal positions. I played my first move, applying the methods my father taught me. She played hers. We played for a while. I was happy that my father's lessons paid off in a big way. I had 6 pieces while she had 1 left. Checkmate, I laughed. The look on Lily's face changed in the worst way possible. She hated defeats. She asked, who taught you how to play? Lily inquired. My father taught me when I was about your age, I uttered, missing my father. Can you teach me? Lily asked. Of course, it'll be a great task to teach you all I know, but I'll do it. Get the pieces ready. She quickly arranged all the pieces together. I taught her all the tricks she'll use: defensive attack, maintain a steady push and pull, and many other tricks. Thank you so much, I feel like trying out all the tricks you taught me. Lily giggled. Dimitri chimed in, let's play before Ride comes back. Okay, Lily agreed. The game began. Lily allowed Dimitri to take 2 of her pieces, in order to put him in a vulnerable position. She merged defensive attack, maintain a steady push and pull together and took out all Dimitri's pieces. What did you just do? Dimitri asked with a stern shock on his face. What's with his face? Ride inquired. Well, he just got executed by my daughter Lily. He only removed 2 of her pieces. Isn't that outstanding? I laughed hysterically. Dimitri, that's a big loss. I look up to you when you play chess, but it seems I've found a new mentor in Lily, Ride said sarcastically. Where's the truck? Dimitri asked as he tried to run away from the shame of losing to Lily. He's already unpacked the items in the workshop, but we have an outstanding debt of 12,000, Ride complained. I remembered that I had money in my knickers. Calculate it and tell me what your total sum is. It's 13,000. Okay, pay your debts and keep the rest. Thank you so much, Lila. It's Kieran's money, so when he visits you'll thank him. That wouldn't be a problem. Ride walked out of the house. Ride, despite being the king of locks, he was also a king of debts. He borrowed money at every slightest opportunity. Dimitri hated that particular behavior of his because it brought disrespect and sometimes disgrace. That money you gave him would finish within seconds. He would pay his debts and none would be left remaining. Dimitri chuckled with a deep groan on his face. What do you expect from a borrower like him? He has to pay all his debts, I said with a deep sigh on his face. I'm going to the workshop, would you come with me? Dimitri asked in the most humble way possible. Sure, Lily would take care of the house, I said, watching the whirling eyes of Lily. We walked to the workshop. I sat down on a seat and watched Dimitri handle the items, melting them with fire. He took off his shirt. I was mesmerized by the sweat dripping off his body. It filled my head with memories of Kieran. I stared at my wrists. The marks were still there. Who did that to you? He did it to you, right? Dimitri chimed in. Why the sudden silence? You're still afraid of him. What's so special about him that hasn't made you realize that he's just ADG? Why do you hate Kieran? What did he ever do to you? I paused and stood, walking to him. I continued, why would harbor this kind of hate for someone? It's so pathetic seeing you in this state. I would like. Dimitri pulled me into his arms and said, look into my eyes and tell me what's filled up my mind. it's not hate but a discharge of when I feel when I'm absolutely abandoned. I looked into his eyes, he was filled with lust, he really wanted to kiss me, but on the verge Ride walked in. Who have you paid your debts? Dmitri asked, releasing his grasp. Yes sure, I paid in full, and I would never ever borrow money from anyone. I rather be a beggar than a borrower, Ride divulged with his face bowed down. That's what I wanted to hear, a change of heart. Dmitri conceded to Ride's words. Change is the only thing constant in life, Ride divulged. Can you make us something while we get the work done? What do you want to eat? Sausage rolls with chilled cream milk. I walked to the kitchen, happy to see that they had already rolled everything in it, so I placed it in the oven to bake for 30 minutes. Lila, where are you? I recognized Kiran's voice. I'm here in the kitchen, I yelled so that he would hear me. Okay, I heard his footsteps getting closer. Oh Kiran, I ran into his warm embrace, realizing how much I missed him. Is that sausage? I guessed the aroma must have passed into his nostrils. Yeah, a chef always knows what's cooking, I scoffed. I'll arrange it and take it to them, they're really working hard. I said in a mild tone. I know, the flames and smoke can attest to that. Kiran smirked in a low tone. Okay, can you escort me? I asked Kiran with a mischievous smile on my face. My clothes are too costly to be worn in a place filled with smoke. Dmitri retorted, dusting dirt off his blazers. As you can see, I'm wearing knickers and white sneakers. Get better clothes and not always in suits. I laughed at my dressing. This made me remember that I had left Riley at the junction in my car. Suits are the best type of clothing, what you're wearing is not professional and you know it. Dmitri stood his ground, protecting his interest in his type of dressing. Professional for a person who doesn't even have a profession. You took a 1-year leave, remember? So quit the suits and get clothes for yourself. I made him realize that I was really bent on making him get better clothes. Okay, I'll change it just because you're the one standing against it. If it were someone else I would have knocked him down with a punch. You love punching yet don't know how to direct it to the right place. I walked out of the kitchen. Lily collected her own sausage and a cup of creamed milk. Dmitri was applying the finishing touches on the weapon while I walked in. You made it this early? Dmitri asked with his mouth full of food. Not really, I made the rolls myself intending to bake them, but Lila took our attention away with this work. I'm happy that you didn't bake them, we've had enough of your burnt crumbs you made for us. Dmitri took yet another bite. I knew he was very famished due to the strength he used in creating the weapon. I'm done with the work now, so I'll eat, have a warm bath and rest, Ride said with his mouth full of food. Same here, Dmitri conceded. Dmitri splashed the cream in his mouth to the ground. What's Kiran doing in my clothes? I laughed at his dressing. Kiran wore his knickers backwards. He looks like an old man from space trying to blend in the Earth's realm. Ride mocked Kiran as he walked into the workshop. These clothes aren't good for me, I know it, and it's unfortunate that I have to wear this because of Lila. She made me wear this. It's her idea of change. I would like to hear your opinions on my new dress code. Kiran smirked. Well, I've tried so hard to surpass my laughter and it works, so I'll just say you look good in these clothes. Dmitri chuckled. Thank you, what's your opinion? Kiran asked after giving Dmitri a thumbs up for his opinion. You all know I like to lie a lot, but in this case I'll be different. Truth be told, the suits you wear look good on you, but it's very awkward, and my candid advice is for you to go back to your old ways, or better still learn from Sarah. She has taste for this type of dressing. I loved the boldness Ride used in voicing out his words. Fine, what's your opinion, Lila? What do I say? Do I tell him what he really wants to hear? Or I just tell the truth as it's meant to be? Well, I don't have much to say, I'll just stick to both sides. My reason is that the change looks good on you but the outfit is awkward. Just as Ride mentioned earlier, I was glad that I justified everything that was going on. I've listened to all what you've said but I'll pick Lila's opinion. She made everything simple. Kieran pulled me into his arms. Love wills us to always support our partner's words. Isn't it a ride? Dmitri smirked. Of course, he's always going to stand by her, but I'm not sure if she's doing the same thing. Ride's words made my heart skip, probably thinking that he would tell Kieran the position he met I and Kieran earlier. What are you saying? Dmitri cautioned Ride's words. What are you trying to say? Ride? Kieran asked, fixing his gaze sternly on Ride. I chimed in hastily. What he's trying to say is that he has eyes on our relationship. That's good, he gets to learn lessons from our relationship. Can we all go out and have dinner somewhere peaceful and quiet? Kieran asked, planting a soft kiss on my forehead. The only place, with your description, is the forest, Ride mentioned. That's where we all would go, Kieran conceded. Very interesting. Guys, I have to go back to Riley, she must be tired, searching for me, I uttered, regretting why I left Riley in the car. Interesting, we can all just go together, you take the cab while we use Dimitri's truck to protect you. Kieran suggested. Okay, that'll be fine. I loved Kieran's suggestion. My well-being was his topmost priority, protecting the lives of me and his unborn child. We'll take the weapon along with us. Many people must have seen the huge amount of smoke that engulfed this building, even the walls can attest to that fact. The news would get to the Crown and then a search party would be sent down here. I hate being arrested. Dimitri's thoughts were absolutely right, I was wondering why my mind didn't have these thoughts to show me. I'll go change, I'll be back in 5 minutes, I said in a mild tone. I quickly rushed into the house. Lily was practicing all the moves I taught her all by herself. Lily, get dressed, we're leaving. Okay, Lily sighed and darted off to her room. I quickly changed into the former clothes I wore before entering that clothing store. Lily, Lily, I called her names. I didn't check her room, probably thinking she would be seated in the living room. I walked downstairs and was a bit startled when I didn't see Lily. I rushed outside, surprised that she sat with Kieran. I knew the amount of speed I used to get dressed. How come Lily's here? These thoughts shaded off when Lily said, I know you must be wondering how I changed into these clothes. Well, my mother taught me steps of changing clothes faster than a normal person like you. Oh. Okay, can we all go now? I was surprised when I saw Dimitri and Ride also changed clothes. Something definitely is going to happen today. I felt these thoughts engulf my mind. Someone might lose his life, I muttered to myself, trying to assimilate my thoughts. Let's go, Lila, Kieran said, tapping my shoulders. I walked outside, and a taxi cab was already waiting for me. I knew Kieran had arranged it for me. I paid the taxi man to drive me to the junction where I had left my car with Riley in it. The drive wasn't that long. When I stepped out of the car, I felt like someone was watching me, aside Dimitri's truck. I walked to the car. Riley was surprised to see me. Where've you been? I've been searching all over for you. I would have gone back home but I couldn't abandon your car here, Riley inquired. She must have seen me step out of the taxi. Can we talk about this later? Something doesn't seem right. Let's get out of here, I said as I turned on the ignition and drove straight, driving past Dimitri's truck. My phone beeped. Kieran called. What's going on? I suspect that we're being followed. You guys should go back to the house, while I sort things out here. Please don't hurt yourself. Drive carefully. I'll see you soon, bye, I said hastily, tossing the phone to Riley, who caught it staring at me in fear and shock. She was wondering what's making me behave all scared like I've seen a ghost. What's going on, Lila? Where are we going? Riley asked with her questioning eyes. I don't really know where we're going. Can you take a look at the back if someone's following us? I asked hastily, staring at two black jeeps through the side mirror. Take the next left turn, Riley instructed. I quickly drove left, the road was rough. Stop, now we have to switch seats. What do you mean? You better do as I say to avoid endangering the life of your son. I quickly moved to the back seat while she took control of the steering wheel. My father once said a distraction is all that'll take to make an enemy's mind filled with thoughts, that'll be the only chance to save yourself, Watch and learn. Ride chuckled as she pulled up the windows and pulled up the gear. She pressed both her legs on the clutch and the brake. We turned in circles, raising a big wave of dust and sand. Riley stopped, she stared at me. Hold something, cause we're going past speed limits. She mounted pressure on the clutch. I couldn't even count the trees we passed, I was getting dizzy and tired of the whole situation. I noticed we drove past Dimitri's house. I quickly alerted Riley. Go back, I think I know a place to hide. Okay, Riley said as she turned around. I called Dimitri. Where are you? Kieran's sick and worried about your safety. Turn off the alarms and open the gate or we're busting in, I screamed. I felt relieved seeing the gates open. Riley drove in. We parked the car in the workshop. I glanced at the gate and watched the two jeeps drive past Dimitri's house. Lila, Kieran stood, staring at me. I ran into his arms, tears welled up in my eyes. I couldn't understand why Lord Blackwood allowed hate to engulf him so much that he even speaks it out willingly. What really happened? Kieran asked as he placed me on the couch. Riley here saved my life. She distracted the soldiers, spinning the car in circles, thereby creating a huge wave of dust. It took minutes before the Crown assassins realized our absence, and it was because of the big wave of dust she created. I explained as Kieran brought me a glass of water. I took a sip and gave it back to him. Who's trying to kill you again? Who are they? Riley, Kieran asked, clenching his fists on the glass cup he was holding. Well, don't be offended if I tell you. It's your father's soldiers. Kieran clenched his right fist tightly, breaking the glass cup into pieces. He conveyed in an angry-filled tone. I'll murder that monster, I make that solemn oath. I'll kill you, father, and have your head as a peace offering to the moon goddess. Kieran snapped. Kieran's phone beeped. Shane, what's the matter? Kieran uttered with a cold voice. How's Lila? Did she escape father's second attempt? Shane whispered. Shane's definitely hiding somewhere while talking. She's also afraid of her father. Just tell your father that. I pulled his shirt and whispered, don't say anything stupid. Yes, she survived it with Riley's help. Kieran reduced the intensity of his voice. That's good, I don't really know what's gotten into my father's brains. He speaks more about killing Lila's unborn child. Shane whispered. That'll never happen, I'll make sure it never happens. Kieran retorted. Father is planning to have that weapon transported to a safe location. He has called off the deal with Alpha Rome. He paid him for more soldiers, making him his second in command. They're really planning something big. It'll be transported in the next 6 hours. This is the only chance to take him down with his soldiers. If you need any help, don't call me. Text me. Bye. Shane hung up. This conversation startled everyone, including Lily. What's he really up to? Riley broke the silence. Well, as Shane said earlier, he's definitely planning something big and we're on his top list, including you. Riley. Kieran sighed, looking at the number of people that could get killed by his father. I stared at Dimitri, Riley, Kieran, Lily, and myself. 6 of us are willing to fight against legions of assassins. There's no going back now, it's either you're in or out. I'm in already, Riley chuckled. We're in, I and Uncle Ride. Lily sprang up. Ride planted a soft kiss on her forehead. I had no problems with Lily joining the mission. I feared the great cost of losing our lives in the process of this mission. I can't wait to kill them all, Dmitri said in a mild tone. Now that we're on the same page, we've got to intercept that truck and make the exchange before it gets to its destination. How do I intend to achieve that great feat? Riley asked, expressing her enthusiasm. Dmitri would be the one driving because he's an expert and also for a fact that he doesn't allow anyone to drive his truck. Ride would be the one to open the locks of the truck, while Kieran would be the one to swap the weapon. Me and Riley would serve as the distraction for 5 minutes, of which Lily would be the lookout. There's no space for mishap. Please play out your roles as instructed. We all go and come back alive. In every mission there's a 30% chance that someone would lose his or her life. Dmitri retorted, laughing hysterically. Like I watched in a movie, we all should have dinner before we move out, Ride suggested. That's a lovely idea, Riley smirked. Thank you, Ride chuckled. Riley stood up. Lila, let's fix something for us to eat. It seems all the females are leaving. Can I join you guys? Lily divulged. Sure, more hands would make fast results, Riley conceded with a smile on her face. We walked to the kitchen. What are we preparing? Lily asked, filled with enthusiasm. I guess we'll make mashed potatoes and beautiful pepper sauce. What do you think, Lila? I agree with you. I practically had my head filled with the thoughts of the mission. It sent shivers down my spine and filled my stomach with royals. I felt weak and tired after we spent an hour and a half. I walked back to the living room. I guess you're tired, right? You shouldn't have followed them. It's a bit hard for me to see you stressed out, Kieran laughed. I know, but I had to put in the effort, which I did. They're almost done, I said in a mild tone. Lily carried the plates to everyone respectively, acting like a waiter. Here you go, sir, Lily said in a mild tone as she handed over the plate to Dmitri. Where's my own share? Ride asked with a mild tone in her voice. Aunt Riley said you should meet her in the kitchen, Lily said as she sat with her own plate of food in her hands. The sounds of spoons, clicking plates was all we could listen to. Everyone ate in silence while Ride and Riley stayed in the kitchen. This is nice, Kieran said, feeling satisfied as he dropped the plates, gulping down a glass of water. I guess what 3 beautiful women joined hands to produce would be impressive, and truly I'm impressed. Dmitri smirked. He ate his food hurriedly. I guess he was famished. Why don't you two start your flattering when Riley's here? She did the most of it, so she's the one supposed to be blessed with these accolades, I said hastily. Why's that you can't just accept what's meant for you? You rather have it given to another person? That's incorrect. Firstly, I only accept what's meant for me, which is what I truly deserve, and secondly, I can't take someone's credits for a job I know I did the lesser work in. You know that's shrewd behavior, I retorted, tired of the meal, so I dropped my plate in the tray. Why's Riley not here? Ride hasn't returned since he went to get his food. I have this feeling that there's a deep connection between them both. Ride's just giving advances which Riley would reject, I retorted, not even interested in any conversation. I paced around the living room, many thoughts flooding my head, and the worst of it was that I couldn't make use of them. I spent practically 2 hours searching for any loopholes in my plan. I was scared that I couldn't find any. I'll go and get the wares. Can I come with you? I was getting tired of sitting in one place. A change of environment can put some things in your mind. I followed Kieran. We walked to the store. It wasn't far. When I entered the house, I wondered where the weapons were sold. We didn't need weapons, but Kieran insisted on buying one for any casualties. Thank you. Kieran appreciated the salesman as he wrote a check for him. Kieran hated writing checks, he loved paying in cash, but at this time, going back to the house would be a great risk which he didn't want to involve himself in. We walked back home, everyone had rested enough, we all stood in the living room. We all come back alive, I said as we all joined shoulders in a round hug. Ride, Kieran, Lily, and Dimitri were the ones in the truck while I and Riley used the jeep. Riley drove slowly and carefully, not arousing any suspicions. The roads were a bit too lonely and that bothered my soul. We parked miles away from Lord Blackwood's house, waiting for the truck. Did Shane trick us into an ambush? Shane can't do a thing like that to her own friends, including her brother. It's impossible, I said, shaking off any sign of negativity. The truck drove out at last, but what I couldn't understand was why Lord Blackwood wouldn't have soldiers that'll protect the weapon for him. My phone beeped. Shane just called, she said we should tread with caution, that he could be flocking around with us. The weapons are in that truck, but there are traps on the road every 5 minutes. What do we do now? Do we abort this mission? We can't abort the mission, the plan would still be the same. The only thing changing here is the time frame. I hung up on the phone. It's your time, Riley. Drive past that truck before it passes the first trap. Okay, sit tight. Riley smirked as she blinked the headlights of the car as a signal to Dimitri's truck. Riley drove smartly. She drove past the trucks and parked in front, blocking the whole road. We pulled off our clothes, wearing only our undies. We stood on the road, dancing and singing like we were drunk. The truck stopped, the guard stepped down from the truck, he stood watching us. I heard a little creeping sound, I knew the padlock had been broken. My phone beeped. The weapon has been changed, it's time to go, I whispered to Riley. It's time to go. Where do you think you're going? Haven't we met before? You're Lila and you're Riley. What makes you think that I'll fall for this act? For a fact you girls made me asterisk with your dancing moves, so I advise you cool it off with a nice blowjob. The guard pulled down his trousers. I wouldn't dare to do that, it's not going to happen. I quickly sent Kieran a text. We're in danger, please help us. Come on Riley, use your combat skills. He's a bit far from us and not to forget he's armed. Kieran and Dimitri pounced on the guard, ripping him apart. His head rolled to where we were standing. Kieran turned back to human. Did he hurt you? No, I replied hastily. Get into the car, Kieran announced as he opened the door. I quickly entered the car. The bracelet Ryan gave to me fell from my wrist. I walked out and picked it up. Dimitri protected me with his whole body until I was inside the car. Then we all heard a gunshot. Dimitri gasped. Riley caught hold of him and pulled him inside the car. Let's go. She screamed. Where are we going now? We're going home, we can't go to the hospital, there'll be millions of soldiers waiting for us down there. He's dying, Riley sobbed as Kieran drove into Dimitri's house. Kieran quickly carried him into the house, he was bleeding profusely, the bullet was shot directly to his heart. If I help him to heal, he would only have hours to live. I'll help you, Dimitri. Don't even think of jeopardizing the life of your unborn child because of me. I told you about this, there's always a 30% chance that someone would lose his or her life. I'm the one in that position. He paused and stared at Lily. Lily, I'll be joining your mother soon, please take care of yourself. Lila would always be there for you. Lily hugged him with tears flowing down her eyes uncontrollably. Ride, the brother I never had, I'm happy that you've given up your habit of borrowing. I'll miss you, don't be like Kieran when you find your mate. Ride opted for their special handshake, which Dimitri quickly obliged. He coughed out blood. Riley, thank you for coming, I hope you find a good man to love you out there. He turned to Kieran. Kieran, you've been a great man, although I hated you at first, but it's evident that you're really a changed man. Take care of Lila and her son. It's unfortunate that I'll not be present to see the face of your son." "I'm sorry." Kieran couldn't hide his tears. It's been a while. Kieran had tears in his eyes. "Lila, I wouldn't deny the fact that I love you. I loved you even before you found Kieran. I knew I wasn't the man meant for you, but that didn't stop me from showering love and care to you. Please reciprocate that towards Lily. You're like the sister I never had. The mission is almost done. Your father would be proud of you." I hugged Dmitri so tight that I didn't even realize that he had breathed his last. "He's dead, Lila," I wailed uncontrollably, memories of Dmitri flooding my head. The times we spent together, he took care of me when my father died. "It's okay, please don't do this. You have to be strong to win over Lord Blackwood in court and prove your father's innocence." Kieran's words consoled my heart. It made me feel Dmitri sacrificed his life for the greater good. I slept off in Kieran's arms. Early in the morning, Dmitri's body was buried in his house. We're his only family. "It's time to dissolve the crown." We all entered Dmitri's truck. I placed my hands on the steering wheel, remembering when Dmitri would be talking to me while driving. I wiped off the tears in my eyes. I quickly darted off to the Pax Court. The council were all present. Lord Blackwood felt happy that he was summoned to be present on the first hearing. "What's your complaint, Lila? Luna of the Dark Moon Pack. This monster over there invaded our pack and took over, killing most of our people with a weapon called serum. He killed my father, and I'm here to prove my father's innocence of all the allegations the Crown accused him of. This is the weapon he uses to kill anyone that stands in his way. He kidnapped his personal assistant and killed him with one of these." I brought out the weapon and dropped it on the desk. I smiled when I saw the tension rising up in the lions of Lord Blackwood. "This weapon should be tested, and you'll see how this man formed an organization that's endangering the lives of our people." "How's it supposed to work?" one of the council members asked. "Let's all go outside." We all walked outside to an open field. "Set loose any prisoner of your choice." They quickly obeyed, and he turned into a wolf, running as fast as he could. I shot him down. He was carried back into the court. The doctor examined his body and said, "Truly this weapon is of mass destruction. What do you have to say to this, Lord Blackwood?" "This is my verdict. The Crown is hereby dissolved. Lord Blackwood and all his accomplices would be hanged for all the crimes they've committed. I would have hated this man if he was banished. Now he's going to be hanged along with Alpha Rome and others. Now you can't escape death. Thank you, Father, for involving yourself." Silver smirked, kissing Shane passionately. "Riley's my mate," Ride announced. "Congratulations, now we've got 3 weddings to plan," I said as my baby kicked. He was happy that his mother had finally won. Peace has finally been restored in the Dark Moon Pack.